So, welcome to our first full episode of season 6, episode 1. Oh, we're so excited!
Yes.
So we kept having to delay the first episode, like the first big episode, just because of everything going on.
Well, yeah, we had a lot. Like, I just moved.
Yeah,
I literally just moved. Maria was once again sick. Nobody's surprised. And just everything.
If I'm not keeping up with the. Yeah, if I'm not keeping up with the Victorian lady thing, like, I'll lose it.
It's true. At this point, it's your bit.
I'm a card-carrying member. Like, I don't want to lose my membership.
Honestly, at this point, you're like the founder. So she's climbed the ranks. She's like the CEO, not the founder, the CEO.
Yeah.
Now, I am still a little bit sick, so my voice might sound a little bit crazy this episode, everyone. I am sorry. Be warned. You've been warned.
But yeah, if you've just joined, I am Maria, and you can find me all over social media as @Magic with Maria. It has changed. It's no longer Maria the Arcane. It is Magic with Maria. And I'm joined by our supreme goddess, Robyn, a tired witch everywhere.
Hello. Hi. Thank you so much for having me back on this podcast. It has been like really just amazing for me. Thank you.
Just a reoccurring guest.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm just like a permanent guest. Someone call me a co-host, but I don't like that label. It's too committed for me.
But if you guys haven't heard, we are going to be at the Windy City Paranormal Fest in Chicago on June 12th through the 14th. Yes. And we're going to be up on stage and telling you how you can use tarot for paranormal investigations. And we'll have a booth, which we're both planning to do readings at. So, I mean,
and we're going to merch.
Say hi. Yeah.
It's going to be so good. Come say hi. Sure. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. We can't wait to meet you. We're really jazzed about it. So we hope to see you there. Mm-hmm. Also, don't forget to join us this month on February 22nd for our class with Chelsea Selby. She is the owner and founder of Rich Baby Soaps, and she is doing a class for us on bath magic, which is, I think, going to be really exciting. Like, she obviously is so knowledgeable on this topic. And I think it's going to be really fun. Plus, Chelsea's cool. So it'll be, it'll be a really great class, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I'm very excited for it. I don't know if anyone is like me, but I've been rotting in baths lately. So, I mean, we just need all the water energy right now. But I'm very excited for the
house
class.
We just moved to. There's 2 bathrooms, 2 main bathrooms, but there is 1 bath. It is the kids' bath, and it's pretty shallow. And I'm just like, I miss my bath. My last bath, which was nice and deep and wonderful. This one's really shallow. So, R.I.P. I'm going to have to get one of those inflatable ones.
I was about to say, you should get the inflatable ones.
Yeah, I think it's going to, I don't know. I think it'll be good. We'll see. We'll see if I actually pull it together to get one, but oh my goodness.
I could imagine living without a bath.
Yeah, well, you have a freaking glorious bath.
Look,
listen, this bitch has got the hot tub of baths. So
look, when we were looking for a house, that was my one thing. I wanted a bath. We had been in the military beforehand, and all those are the most shallow, you put your ankle in, and that's as far as it will get. And I was like, I need a bath. In Germany, we had baths.
And your wife's like, hard queen. Here is the biggest 3-person jacuzzi imaginable. It's so nice. It's so nice.
Yes.
I'm legitimately so jealous of it. I want to sit in your bath. I want to get in there.
It's nice. Come visit, and I'll let you into the master bath.
Oh my god, you guys, Maria's trying to get me in her bath.
Relax, queen.
Just to remind you guys, because we are starting next week with it, Next week, we're going to be going back to our Coffee Talk stories. So if you are somebody who wants to send us a story, you can either email us at submissions@coffeeandcauldrons.com, or you can send us a voicemail at 351-207-0799. It has a 3-minute cutoff, so just call us back and we will smash it all together.
Yeah, we will.
And as this is the start of season 6, Maria and I both just want to take a minute to thank all of our Patreon members for being here. Like, truly, none of this would be possible without Patreon members. The podcast wouldn't be possible. The free content we post online wouldn't be possible. Like, we have a thriving community on Discord and on Patreon. And literally none of that would be possible without your support. And so whether you support us for $1 or $100, like, we appreciate you so much. So thank you all very, very much.
Yeah, come join us. We're even donating like new members that join us this month for, for charity. So
for charity,
which we'll explain
we'll
why
get to that
later.
We'll get to that later. Oh my gosh. If this is your first episode with us, every week we talk about upcoming lunar phases and how you can utilize those in your magical practice. Now, that being said, the one that is nearest to us is on February 12th. And that is the full moon in Leo. And the full moon in Leo is, in my opinion, a really good time to focus on like putting a fire under your own ass, both like literally and metaphorically. We are in the dead of winter. I don't know where you guys are and what your weather is like, but I've got 7 inches of snow outside, which is, if you're watching this on YouTube, why I look like I'm from Forks, Washington, with this like blue light situation happening. I look very I don't know. It doesn't matter. And so the full moon in Leo is a good time to be like loud and proud and do magic that circulates around that. So that would be things like confidence magic. If you're somebody who is struggling, like, to be on the topic of the episode for resistance magic, if you are someone who is struggling to find your voice in terms of like your opinion and where you stand, this is a good time to do magic to put that, fire in your energy, to put yourself in a position where maybe you can find your voice. And this is also a really good time to do things that make us feel just good. And not like necessarily like a cozy way, although it can be cozy, but things that make us feel good about ourselves. So any magic that kind of brings a little self-love in. I mean, it is the month of love. It is the Valentine's month. Not that this is my month or anything, but it is the month of love. And so maybe that's something that you need to work on for yourself this month. And on this full moon, a little self-love, a little bit of confidence and finding your voice.
Absolutely.
What about your tips, Maria?
I definitely agree with your thing about like the whole like kind of, not prioritizing your well-being. Absolutely. There's a reason why Leo is connected to the Sun card in tarot, which is like, being your inner child and doing things that are fun, which is so important in a time like this now. And like, I really like the correlation with like, when we were fighting for gay rights, back during Stonewall and stuff like that.
Maria specifically, because she is of the Victorian era.
Yeah. But during then, they would, go and fight in the streets during the day, but then go party it up at night. And it's it's just that whole, you still need to have fun and then keep fighting. You still need to take care of yourself. But yes, resistance magic is so big because Leo, while they can be very self-forward, they are also leaders, and they are great protectors of community. I mean, a lion, you know, they take care of their pride. And so, you know, if you need a little bit of Leo energy to like be more courageous, this is definitely a great time to tap into that. We're actually, it's so great because the full moon this month like aligns with our group like spell on Discord. So we're going to be doing like this whole like thing utilizing the full Leo moon towards like that sort of energy. So very excited for it. Yeah.
I'm going to try to make this one. I want to be there.
Yeah. Come
join us.
Okay, so this season we're doing things a little bit differently. Like the last few seasons, we have gone over like individual meanings of cards. We've gone over the whole section that's in tarot, and we've also went over like themes to look out for in tarot. This year, we're just going to do something a little fun, kind of like going back to season 1 where we're discussing single cards. But instead, we're just going to shuffle the deck and see what pops out, and then we will read it, and we'll both offer our interpretations of it and how we can utilize its energy now.
Yeah, think of it like a sort of like a collective reading, while you also get to hear both of our perspectives, so you still are learning from it. And we're going to be swapping off who pulls. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, this time I'm using the Fyodor Pavlov Tarot, very queer, forward, very diversity, you know, like there's so much diversity in it. It's a beautiful deck. Basically,
it's the same one I'm going to use next time too. You and I were on the same.
Right now, this deck is like the government's worst nightmare. Love it so much. Okay, but here's some shuffling ASMR until one falls out.
Oh my god. You do the fingers on the deck that.
Okay, let's go ahead and cut the deck. Okay, let's see what we have. Okay.
What'd you pull?
So we got the devil.
Stop! And if you guys watch this on YouTube, you can see Maria did genuinely just shuffle that. That's so funny.
Yeah, so we got the devil. And what does this mean right now? Like as a collective, and then I'll dive into like how we can, you know, viewing this card from outside of that. But okay, so as a collective, I see this as, you know, we really feel chained right now to what is happening in the world around us. Like, in some ways we are, absolutely. But, you know, don't give in like as soon as stuff happens. Like don't feel like you have to go ahead and like hand over your rights when things happen. Like no. Like we're not going to do that. Like you don't have to stay here. You could be like, you know, F this is what we're going to do. And obviously leaving the devil card is very hard. I don't think that is recognized enough. Like it takes a lot of work to leave the devil card, whether we're facing like outside of like what is happening now, like leaving addictions, bad habits, and, you know, negative things behind. It takes a lot of work and a lot of effort in order to move past it. It is a major arcana card for this very reason. And, you know, this card is about struggling to see that we're not like trapped in this space. But also, I do want to say the importance of, with all that in mind, that it's really easy to blame outside forces on what's happening. And obviously they are to blame, but we also need to look at how we got here in the first place, especially as like privileged people. Like how have we gotten to this point in our privilege that, you know, we have allowed these, you know, what is happening to rise to power? And you know, recognizing that and owning up to it so we can fight against it. When we start seeing how we have aided this beast, that is when we can start dismantling the beast. Okay, so how about you?
See, I view this card in like a collective, given grand happenings in the world, to actually be a little bit positive. And when I say that, I mean, it's reinforcing my optimism right now for things. Obviously, what's going on if you're in America is horrible. I can't speak for the rest of the world. I'll be really honest. I've been very consumed on national news. But obviously things that are going on are really not good. But with this card, when this specific card comes up, it does tell me that there is a silver lining of hope here. It tells us that we have this big bad that we feel very chained to, but it also tells us that there is going to be this opportunity for us to walk away from it if we're strong enough. And if we're willing to believe in ourselves enough. And so for me, it tells me that while there's all this bad stuff going on, that there's still hope. Absolutely. That this isn't the end of the world, that it feels like the end of the world because there's a lot of really scary shit going on, but there is going to be change and things can happen, and it's up to us to continue to ask for that change. Yeah. And so while it's obviously not great, it is all about perspective, and I am trying to hold on to that optimism myself. I know we talked about this on the last episode. I'm trying to hold on to optimism. And so for me, this reinforces that. So,
yeah. Well, I think it's really important that, like, on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, like, you could tell the bonds are loose on our people. Like, they feel chained, but they can leave. As I said, is it easy? No, it's not going to be easy, but it is possible. This isn't the end. Even the devil card is not the end. Like,
even on the deck that you're showing, it's bondage that they're in. They're in ropes, which is a part of a consensual BDSM practice. And so obviously we haven't put ourselves, well, I mean, in some ways we put ourselves
well, it's just situation. Like I said, like, some of us have, like, been super privileged, and we do need to recognize that privilege. So
sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so it is a situation where we might have put ourselves in this situation, but we can get ourselves out of it through effort and communication
and community. There's two people on this card. Yeah. So community is very important.
Yeah. I'm glad we're doing these polls. This is really fun talking about it like this. Yeah. Somebody once gave us the feedback that we sound like the tarot is our friend. It's someone that we know. And I feel that way. And I feel like this is such a great example of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Yep. Going to continue doing it.
Yeah. So we talked about it a little bit earlier in this episode, and if you've seen us on social media, we talked about, actually, I think last week we prefaced we were going to talk about that, this episode.
We did.
Which is resistance magic, and kind of what that means to us and what's going on with us, because the world is a big, scary place right now, and it's important to feel safe. To feel safe. So, yes. Maria, let's get started. Talk to us. What is resistance magic in your words?
Okay, so resistance magic, oh my gosh, like, as a whole, it is protection magic, but it is so much more than that. It's kind of like tapping into that Leo energy of finding your courage and finding your strength and like utilizing it to help, not only help yourself, but to help community and those who are struggling right now the very most. Yes. And, you know, as I said, it is protection magic too. And if you're like going to protest, you're going to, you know, you're doing active things that do put you in danger. You not only need to have like all this stuff to have your voice heard, like, you know, the oils or whatever you're using, but you also really need like protection stuff because, you know, you're doing the hard work and people don't like to see that hard work happen. And, you know, you can find yourself in sticky situations. So why not use some magic to kind of like help you along with that? But do we want to talk about like why in the first place this is so important and why this was brought, like us talking about it, like, is
I'm
not
sick,
only important.
and so this is gonna sound crazy coming out of my mouth.
It's not crazy. It's not gonna sound
it's
crazy.
just gonna literally sound crazy because I'm sick.
Okay.
My voice is probably gonna crack, but we're gonna talk about this because Maria and I are pissed. Like, capital P pissed. First of all, if you aren't new to our podcast and you have been a listener, even passively, and you are confuddled, confused, feeling perhaps a little bamboozled that we have political opinions, then I'm sorry to say you might be an idiot. Sorry to say, but you might have some listening comprehension that you need to work out with someone. Because we have been very vocal about our political beliefs and our political stances since the first season. It's something that is incredibly important to both of us because Maria and I, are you ready for this? Are you sitting? We're both minorities.
Minorities, but like the things that are happening right now directly impact
both of our families in serious and scary ways. Not like, and I think part of the problem is that for some people, when they believe in activism like we're describing, it is very theoretical for them. It is very removed from them. I'm literally married to an immigrant. I have close, immediate family who are immigrants. My family, we're on the queer spectrum. Maria's family is on the queer spectrum. I'm not listing the whole alphabet. We're saying queer spectrum.
Very, very queer.
Maria's family could not get gayer, okay? Maria's family is like the poster. Like, I'm not going to sit here and out them because that's not my place or business. But when we talk about like this shit that like the alt-right is afraid of, that's Maria's family, dog. Like,
yeah.
And so we just want to make it, like, we thought it was pretty fucking clear. And then we had people leaving Patreon, more than one, being like, keep your politics out of Patreon, blah, 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 and, or off your platform. And like, that pissed both of us off. Yeah. Because what do you mean keep our, that our platform is political, you twit? And then secondly, like, these issues directly impact us and our safety and our family's safety. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
You getting to choose to have no opinion on this is a privilege.
Such a big privilege.
We are not afforded.
Yeah, and I think this all stems from, like, people choose political parties and political ideologies like sports teams. They really don't think they think, oh, just like sports, like, it doesn't have any direct impact on people, but it does. It absolutely does. Like, politics have the, like, it can do people harm, like actual harm. And like, I just
listen, I'm going to be straight up honest with you, and I'm just going to say it how it is. If you're listening to this and you voted for Trump, I hope you feel very good that you want my family to be separated, that you want my children to be removed from their father.
Yeah,
I hope that feels good for you, and I would like you to know that you're not welcome, or you're not welcomed to keep continuing to listen to our podcast. We don't like you. We don't want your support. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Just generally, fuck you.
And me and my family, we're having to create, like, escape plans just in case things get really bad.
Us too. We're having to consider, like, what our big picture. And we are right now at the point where we've been discussing, do we want to stay in America? Because this is where our people are. This is where our community is. And it's like, well, maybe that's not an option.
Yeah, it's people don't realize, like, if they're like, well, just leave. It's really not that easy.
It's really not that simple. I've been trying to fucking leave, dog.
Yeah, like, it's really hard. Like, we have jobs, we have houses, like,
we have people that care about us and depend on us.
Mm-hmm. It's not that easy. And so, like, making these plans are heartbreaking, it's scary, and I don't know. And I just, like, if you, like, Robyn and I are talking about this even more because of the post that we made to Instagram
oh my
on
God,
Wednesday.
That was so weird. People are so weird.
We had 5, no more than, it was like, 10, I don't know, it was a lot of people commenting who were shocked that we are political. And it's like,
shook it to the core. But literally, I think it's like our 4th or 5th episode ever is about Black Lives Matter.
No, the first episode, we talked about trans people. We talked about, like, supporting queer people. We talked about supporting people who are different, minorities. Like, we covered everything.
Hello? Is anyone there? Like, literally, I'm like, hello, dial tone. What is going on? What do you mean you're surprised by this? Weird shit?
Yeah. I don't think these people were, like, angry. And all we said is that we don't allow hate and bigotry and white supremacy on our, like, on all of our stuff.
So fucking weird to me. Listen.
Just tell on yourself.
It's so weird to me that we were like, we gave a series of mission statements that we believe in. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's not all of our fucking beliefs, but we gave a little synopsis, and we left it as a big thing. This is not a safe space for bigots, hate, white supremacy. Like, this is not a safe space for those people. Mm-hmm. And then the people commenting being like, Mother Earth is an alt-right nut job? What are you trying to say right now, big dog? Mother Earth includes everyone, and that includes the gay people, you stupid fuck.
If you're going to comment, like, be like, oh, like, this post makes me so angry, you need to go and look at those words and be like,
reflect at your life. Reflect on your life.
You realize you're calling yourself a white supremacist. Like,
you realize that aligning against what this post is that you're saying, I'm actually a bigoted white supremacist member of the alt-right. That's because that's what the closing statement, which was saying, this is what we're not against. This is what we are not for. If you are upset about that, you're stating that you align with the alt-right and you're a fucking weird cunt. Sorry. That's weird. Like, what's wrong with you?
Okay. And
then the people that were like, actually, you're being so rude. It doesn't matter what you're saying. You're being really rude. Yeah, I'm gonna be fucking rude to Nazis. The fuck?
It's so important to stick up for, like, communities right now. You don't get
to be, like, super hateful and aligned your views with hate, and then be like, but you need to be polite to me about that. No, I don't. You need to suck my figurative, okay?
Yeah. I've done my years of trying to make people see sense, like, with, like, immediate family and stuff like that. I'm done.
If my patience is out the window with family members, why would I have extra politeness in my back pocket for a weird stranger on the internet who is aligning with Nazis? Hello? Like, literally, first of all, it was, we both, before we posted that post, felt as though it was ridiculous we even had to post it because we thought that our views were always very clear, very loud. I mean, I literally do a fundraiser once a year for the Black Trans Rights Coalition. Mm-hmm. So, like, how is this surprising to you?
Project. I do
the
Trevor Project.
And, like, we vocally state, I talk about my immigrant husband all the time. Just because he's a fucking white guy doesn't mean he's not an immigrant. Like, you do realize that when you're like, well, immigrants, but not that kind, or then you're just a fucking racist, is what you're saying. Like, hello? Well, he's actually not brown enough for me to be upset. Oh, so you're a racist. Anyway. Like, until recently, I was a blue-haired girl with pronouns, okay? Like, give me a fucking break. Like, anyway, I'm getting really heated. Can you tell?
What do you want to dive into some protection magic?
Well, before we post, I want to finish my thought. Before we posted that, Maria and I both thought that was like unnecessary to post, and that it was silly we even had to.
I'm glad we did.
I'm glad we did too. That was crazy.
Oh.
And then everybody's like, the reaction was crazy. Like, people were being so insane. Anyway. So the reason that we're talking about resistance magic was because of all of this. We had this post planned. We were going to post it. We talked about it. We thought this was going to like clear stuff up, which I didn't think it needed to be. But here we are.
Yeah. But, so.
Yeah, resistance magic. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. What are some spells that you think are, like, super important for right now?
So, when I was a younger woman, I used to go to rallies and marches all the time, but I have kids now, and that's just not realistic for me.
Because, and you're like, in the middle of nowhere, too.
Well,
where are you going?
Yeah, but we would go down to the Bay Area. But, but, like, if I get arrested now, like, I got kids that I'm going to have to explain that to. Like, that's not practical for us anymore. So instead, I do things like I make charms and little, like, satchels that go inside my friends' clothes that are going to be able to go to marches to help keep them safe. Like a very, physical, but also, like, to not get arrested. And it's like... I make them glamour oils to, like, not get seen if they're going to be, like, fleeing. What about you?
With the protection, like, definitely the protection satchels, like, even if, let's just say you're a queer identifying person and you're going, anywhere, out and about. Really. Yeah, you need to have something to do with protection on you, I think, at this point. But I do want to say, I would stay away from green herbs. Stay away from green herbs just in case, like, anyone, like, let's say, unfortunately, you're at a protest or something and a cop, like, you have to empty everything out of your pockets. You don't want them being like, oh, that's like pot.
What is this?
So you're going to get in trouble.
Mary Jane?
Yeah.
Is this the devil's lettuce?
They'll find any reason to hold you longer than what you should be. So I would definitely stick with, like, herbs and plants that aren't green. Even if it doesn't look like it at all, I would not chance it. Like, if you're going to... I would just do,
honestly, if you have the accessibility for it, do stitching. Get colored yarns, then you can stitch it. It's just great. No police officer is gonna look at a stitch and be like, what is this?
Yeah, Gloves? And I know it's not the healthiest option, but for when my wife was doing, like, derby and she would play a game, I would do sigils on her and I'd write it onto her with Sharpies. So feel like you can do a sigil and, and just, like, do... Really? Just, you have to make sure that you're, like, powering it up. That means after you draw it on you, like, kind of like holding it and envisioning what you need to envision when it comes to that particular sigil. And then, like, if you are going to make a satchel, like, I would do things like black pepper. I would do things like thistle, clove, even cinnamon, because cinnamon not only is a protection herb, but it also, like, amplifies confidence and stuff like that. And you can always just use crystals too to amplify voice and to protect you.
And very specifically, off of kind of bouncing off what Maria said about not using green herbs, if you are going to use green herbs, do things like dill. Don't use mugwort or mugwort. They both look visually to the untrained eye like weed, especially mugwort because it's sticky. It sticks together. So do not use either of those.
And mullein
too. Yeah, mullein too.
Yeah. And also, so if you're going to be raising your voice at all and you want to be heard, I do recommend like making a special tea for that. So you're it's, the whole thing is you're taking it out and you're amplifying your voice. So using I would use peppermint tea, and maybe then you can add if it's safe to add a pinch of mugwort to it to amplify your power, because I think mugwort is a great amplifying thing for magical power. So I use that a lot in my spells to amplify. But you could also do body oils for that too, along with if you want to do protection, but body oils, or even just putting some of the oil on your lips. So when you speak,
that's good for sigil magic too. If you're somebody who's ever bought oils from me in the past, they sell, or if you're not somebody who has, there are bottles that exist that have a little roller ball on them. Sometimes you see them for perfumes. You can make yourself oil, and then sieve it out, strain it so that way none of the herbs are in it, and it's just the oil that after it's been soaking on your altar for a week or something. That way it just looks like a perfume oil. There's again no herbs, nothing inconspicuous about it. You can put a crystal if it's oil safe in there, and skin safe as well, obviously. And you can utilize those for creating sigils on your body or other people's bodies that align with that protection, or in Maria's example, amplifying your voice, etc.
And I love, I don't know if you've seen it, but on TikTok and stuff, people are doing glamour magic and not really recognizing that they're doing glamour magic. A bunch of people are wearing red lipstick to amplify confidence and just show where they stand and stuff. And I was that's so cute. Silly. I love it. And it's so cute. Wear it to the protests, but obviously wear it with I honestly, if you're going to go to a protest, put out that red lipstick underneath the full moon on the Leo full moon, just to kind of like you do with your crystals or herbs or any tools that you use. Go ahead and put it out there, or any outfit that you're going to wear too. But I love that. There's so many just non-magical people are I'm wearing red lipstick because, XYZ, and stepping into my confidence and stuff like that. I'm going to use my voice, total Queen of Swords energy. And I'm yes, so good.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I think there's a lot of little things like that you can do that are pretty practical. I feel they're practical. I feel it's a good practice if you're somebody who, protesting aside, if you are somebody who lives your life in a way that you feel that, you might be in danger of any kind. It's just a good practice, it's a good thing to do to keep yourself safe.
Yeah. And one thing that we always talk about when it comes to resistance magic, because I think we even dived into resistance magic the first term. So the importance of utilizing,
certainly did.
utilizing real world energy when it comes to resistance spells. This means if you can't go out and protest, you're calling your senators, you're writing letters. You're not even calling your own senators and writing letters. You're also going to other states and writing their people too. Have your voice heard. You're doing something that even low spoons people can do. As long as you are doing something after the fact of the spell, amplifying that energy and moving it along, that's when you are going to see payback. I really don't recommend doing resistance spells and then being oh, okay, I'm done. I mean, for protection work, yes. The way that you're moving forward, with protection work, when you are, making sure that you're safe.
The only way the protection spell works is if you put yourself in harm's way.
No,
that was a joke. That was a joke. That was a joke.
Obviously,
that was a joke.
Obviously, when you are going to like protest, you are putting yourself in harm's way, but you're covering your face, you're covering your tattoos, you're wearing stuff that protects your eyes, you're doing all
leaving
these
your
things.
cell phone at home. At home. Don't bring it with you. Don't bring it with you.
Have numbers. Like, memorize numbers if you're doing that, please.
Write them on your body if you have to, and like on your thigh. Payphones still exist. Like, other people will not be as smart as you, and they will have their cell phone on them. Leave yours at home. It doesn't need to be with you. You leave your ID at home. Doesn't need to be with you. Don't bring a purse.
No.
Leave it at home.
Yeah. And I would be like, essentially, you know, I would go to places like, as once again, if you're like a queer presenting person, like go to places where you know that, you know, you have community and you are protected. We even like I'm in South Carolina. So like me and my wife, we have specific places we know that we can go and we won't get harassed. We have gone to places where we have been harassed, and we're not going to go back to those places. Like, no, obviously, you know, be out and be proud. You know, I say be as queer as possible right now. Be so loud.
Within your own safety.
Yes, within your own safety. Like, we don't, like, I know a lot of people are, you know, they say, like, we made it through the first time. A lot of people didn't make it through the first time. And people don't, like, notice that. And a lot of people did lose their lives.
Let's just talk about this on, like, an objective fact. And this is not because necessarily, I don't want to say that this is Donald Trump's fault. It might be. I don't know. I haven't done enough research on this, so take this for how I mean it. Okay. But COVID occurred during Donald Trump's last presidency. And how many people died from that?
Not only, like, his own people died from it. Because, you know, the bleach comment and stuff, like, people died.
Fucking eating ivermectin or whatever the fuck that shit is, the horse tranquilizer, whatever that is. Like, you guys are literally eating horse paste from a vet, and then you're shook that it's not doing well for you? Weird.
Like, guys, even in our first season, we talked about being pro-vaccines. So
literally, oh my god,
this should not be new information.
This should not be a shock to you guys. Like, I shouldn't have to, like, Maria and I should not have to be, like, giving you our list of labels to, like, be valid. That's crazy. I do want to end this segment in giving you some books to read. If you're somebody who wants a direction that might put you in a way that is giving you safe, effective witchcraft magic, resistance magic. I have 2 books that I really like and one that I am going to recommend you stay away from. The first book is literally called Witchcraft Activism. And then the second book is called Revolutionary Witchcraft.
Those are very good books.
Both of these are really, really good books. I have the cough. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. Both of these are really good books. They talk about, you know, just kind of ways to put your boots on the ground, both literally and magically. I think they're very good. I've read both of them. The one book I am going to tell you to stay away from that you might see people suggest is Apocalyptic Witchcraft by Peter Gray. The book itself reads like a really good activism book, but in recent years, Peter Gray has come out as a white supremacist. So while it might read very proactive, my understanding is that that is all under the guise of being a Nazi. So I tried to find some sources on this so that way I could kind of point you guys in the right direction for that. If, you know, There were further questions. I couldn't find exact sources. I remember this coming up a few times. And his perspective in the book is about the satanic panic. So it kind of makes sense why that would be very guised in that book. But if you want to read it, I recommend getting it from a library or secondhand.
Yeah.
I'm of the camp that we do not ban books, even if the person is problematic. Instead, we get informed and we don't give them money.
Yes, we don't give them money and we speak out against that stuff. The books I recommend is like, they're all around like kind of like broadening your practice, because unfortunately like we have so many books where like alt-right witches have taken like especially in charge of divination, and like we have spiritual bypassers also trying to take in charge of like divination. But there's a new book that's out by Siri Vincent Plouffe. Hopefully I said their last name correctly. But we actually had them on our podcast, and it is Queering the Runes, and it's all about like queerifying runes. Runes has such a big problematic history of like people co-opting it and turning it into alt-right stuff and white supremacy stuff. So like Siri is like taking that back. And then we have Queering the Tarot by Cassandra Snow, which we also had them on our podcast. And actually we had both of them together. We had Siri and Cassandra on the podcast at the same time. But it's just kind of like broadening your definitions of what tarot is. And then the other one is Radical Tarot, Queer the Cards, Liberate Your Practice, and Create the Future. And that is by Charlie Claire Burgess, and also highly recommend that. So just kind of like, queering all of your divination practice and viewing things in a whole different light. So you're not just like seeing things from like a, one really far left perspective, a little far right perspective. Like it's kind of like it shows like things in a different light, so you open and broaden your views on what the tarot could mean. That isn't like, male, female, and like we explore the in-between, because tarot does explore the in-between. The whole point of tarot and like using divination is liminal magic, which liminal magic is non-binary. So I mean, yeah, does that make sense?
It does. Well, on that note, I hope that this has all really cleared some stuff up for any confuddled listeners. Don't be weird. Don't be weird. And you don't get to profit off of us not profit, excuse me, that's the wrong word. You don't get to pick our brains and expand your life magically, mundanely, whatever, and then actively wish us harm.
Yeah.
And if you are listening to this and you still hold those values, fuck you.
So, Robyn, what is stirring your cauldron this week?
I missed you asking me that.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for asking. What is stirring my cauldron this week is we did recently move, and I have been like decorating my house. I got all my babies out, and for those of you who don't know this, because apparently nobody actually listens to this podcast, I collect Cupies. So I've been getting all my babies out, including, I'm going to see if I can turn the camera so that way you guys can see it for listeners. My giant Cupid. I collect Cupid dolls. I do have like Sunny Angels, but I mean like I collect like Cupid dolls, like traditional Cupid dolls, as you know. And like things that are Cupid. I have like 2 Cupid rugs on their way here right now, which I'm really excited about.
I like how you collect Cupies and you birth them. So
literally, I don't know, no one knows what my kids look like, but they literally look like Cupid dolls. The baby is the same size as the big Cubie doll, and I put them next to each other, both naked the other day, and I went, which one's real? Which one could it be? But yeah, I've been like finding all my old stuff. I found a mug that I had that I forgot that says my other ride is my waifu, and that's really funny. So yeah, like it's just been really fun. We got our son a fish, 2 fish, which he named Raphael and Michelangelo, and then he got like a little tiny like bottom feeder fish, which is I'm sorry. Listen to me. My fish mother. Orange one is Raphael, the black one is Donatello, and the little one is Michelangelo. So
okay.
Obviously. So yeah, it's been really fun. We've been really jazzed. I've been really jazzed going through my stuff. I'm waiting for my office stuff to show up so I can set up my office and not be recording in the kitchen anymore. But yeah, I've been really jazzed on all of that.
Yeah, I'm jazzed for you. It's so exciting. You having your own space, stretching out of the bus.
It's been weird. It's been so weird not being in the bus. I liked my little bus. Like,
yeah. How is it having so much more space, like cleaning wise? Weird. Has it been worse or
It's
better?
Actually been easier. It's funny because when you're in a tiny home, you have to clean every day. Because, especially because we live in the forest, you bring in pine needles and dirt and just all that, and you have to clean every single day. And here, like, it's like when we take the shoes off at the door, it's far, like, there's way more space for, like, the stuff to not get in the rest of the house. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's actually been easier despite the fact that it's bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is interesting. I wasn't expecting that. But it's been a pleasant surprise.
That's good. Yeah, I think you're completely right. I think where big houses are more annoying is like the the bigger things that you have to do like once a year to the house. Like, like it's like more like, okay, we have to do this, and it's just like a huge undertaking. So, like, but those little things, it's so much easier.
The little things, also because we have a regular size home. Your girl's getting an electric robot vacuum thing. I'm gonna set that sucker off every single night. Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
That's so funny because we call our dogs our Roombas.
That's so well. That's the other thing. We don't have dogs here. We had dogs at the other place because we were on the same property as my parents, right? And now there's no vacuums that are eating the crumbs off the floor underneath the kids. So, come on. You can't get good help these days. So, Maria, what's not stirring your cauldron?
Oh, let me tell you. I like how you said that, like, and you have a fire burning behind you.
I know. I'm like, look at me.
Robyn does host a hotline. I'm just kidding.
I literally, who's ready to have sexy conversations with me?
You just need a faux fur rug right in front of that. Yeah.
Literally. I know Abby's listening to this, and Abby's like, me, bitch. And the answer is no, Abigail.
Oh gosh. But what is not stirring my cauldron is a nervous system regulation. It's very hard to have a good thriving nervous system right now with like not even every single day, it's like every single hour. It's like, what's the crisis report right now? And it's just like thing after thing after thing after thing. And it like anyone.
We've started a rule in this house, and it might be helpful for you, is that you're allowed to look at the news. You look at the news, you're allowed to look for 30 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we were doing, like an hour a day, like just here and there, because we do both like go on social media random times during the day and we have screen time set up. But even that was too much. And so we started doing like, okay, like today is my day to remain informed about what's going on. My wife, on the other hand, she is not going on TikTok. She is not going on Facebook. She is not checking the news. Like if she has some free time, she is going to play chess. She's going to be on her Switch. She is going to be like tidying up her office. Like she is doing other stuff to distract herself from what's going on. She's taking the day to decompress, and then we're going to switch tomorrow. But at the end of the day, we are going to give only like the major things that we do need to be 100% aware of, and that's like smart. What is happening. And we will discuss it and hold space for it for a second. And then we will like move on. Like this is like new. And like, I just think we both need it, because both of us would be like, about like, what's going on.
But the real question is, are you guys holding space for the lyrics of Defying Gravity?
Always. Wicked is a very big thing in this house.
I'm going back to your house being filled with the gays.
When I
the
say
homosexual agenda.
When we saw that in theaters, I bawled like a baby when that song came on. It was
Can I tell you something that you're going to cancel me for?
You haven't seen it yet, have you, bitch?
I've never even seen the Broadway. I read the book. I read the book, but I've never, I know nothing like the...
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But I'm not allowed to read the book until I've seen the second part, my Witchy says. They said it gives too much away. Like, it's different, but there's still, like, stuff that is connected.
First of all, what the heck? You're letting a teenager dictate your life. Get a grip, Maria.
I will say, like, if you see it, I do recommend it, just because, like, we've went to the theater like many times, and that is probably the first movie in years that we have walked out and be like, that was worth it. That was worth the cost. That was worth the time. Yeah, because every time that we've walked out of movie theaters lately, we're like, you know,
Barbie was pretty good.
It goes from day to night as soon as you walk out, and it's like, oh, like our whole day feels wasted because we decided to go sit in the theater for like 3 hours. But like walking out of Wicked, we're like, oh my gosh, that was worth it. So good.
Yeah, we plan to get it here, like watch it here. I haven't seen Nosferatu yet either. I
haven't seen that either.
I want to.
I do too.
I want to. I have just a really big passion for like the original black and white film. Mm-hmm. So what did you think I was going to say? You started giggling. Well, what did you think I was going to say, you weird freak? This bitch is a freak. You guys, she's a freak.
But no, the cinematics for that movie looks amazing. Like, you know, the old Victorian lady within me is like buzzing. I love cinematic movies. I'm not a really big fan of
Lily Depp. I don't think that she's a very good actress, my opinion, but I've heard that she's really good in this. So I believe those people. I trust their opinion on this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you know, we live and grow, like, and I'm sure, you know, like actors, actresses, and everything in between, like, you know, it takes time. Like, I'm sure if we went back to
absolutely. So I'm willing to try. Yeah. Anyway, we're talking about something totally different. I'm glad. I'm not glad. This is not stirring. I'm not glad.
Look, we're finding our joy. We're finding our joy where we can right now.
I am not glad. I am. Oh, it's not stirring your cauldron. It's not stirring mine.
Look, okay. Go back to make this a full circle moment. Wicked has been helping regulate my nervous system.
Good. I'm glad. I'm really glad that you held the lyrics for Defying Gravity.
Always.
If you've just joined us this week, every week we talk about creators that we are loving right now. These are not ads. This is just stuff Maria and I have found that we think that you might think is pretty cool too. We also take listener submissions now. So if you have a creator that you think needs a little spotlight, send them to us. We'd love to share them with our listeners. So that being said, Maria, who are you into this week?
Oh, I actually wanted to share this in December, but I left it on here for this very reason. But it is September .tells, and they're on Instagram. They have a Ouija board that lights up, that you can put on your wall.
Oh yeah, I remember I was looking at this before. This is so cool.
It lights up. It's a wall decoration. It's just, I love it so much. I want one.
Demonic. I love it
so bad. It's
I
so
sent it
beautiful.
to Frank when you sent it to me, and he told me to get fucked. That was the reply. He was like, absolutely not.
But it's so pretty.
It is really pretty.
I just
kid, dramatico.
Just how someone thought that up is genius. Just the craftsmanship that also went into it is stunning. I highly recommend checking it out. And they also have other stuff too that is on their Insta page that is just, I don't know, beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. But what have you been loving?
I was on Kickstarter having a little peruse, and I found a deck called the Baphomet Tarot deck, and I'm so into it. They've already hit their project goals, so they don't need our support per se, but I'm just super into it. It is got kind of a woodcut look to it, a very Renaissance style art. And everything is kind of got this Baphomet, dark vibe to it. And I'm so into it. I want to get my hands on a copy. That was very exciting. The last few times I've looked on Kickstarter, and granted, it has been a little bit of a minute. So, take that into consideration for what I'm going to say. I haven't really seen any decks that I personally have vibed with. But this one got me excited. So that was cool.
Those are very cool.
Very cool, right?
Yeah.
Now, our listener submission this week, I am not even going to try to pronounce. This is in German. I'm going to spell it for you. It is ASUGEFUCHST_art. And they do really cute, fairy-ish inspired hair clips and jewelry. Specifically what was sent to us was they do these little moon, half moon, crescent moon, wall art things. And there are little fairy houses with plants and shells and stuff. And it's really cute. Very cute.
Fairy
I love
houses
that
are my favorite. I would
have so stinky cute. I want to put a fairy house in the yard here. I was going to make one with the biggest kid.
Oh, that would be so cute.
I was thinking we could get we could buy one of those Michael's little wooden houses, and then we can get slate and stone and make it a little cottage.
Yeah. No, that's
be
so cute. Yes, I love that so much.
Now, as a reminder, if you have somebody that you think that our listeners would love to discover, shoot us a message on social media, email, etc.
Yes.
Thank you all so much for joining us this week, and thank you for being here for the start of season 6. We hope to see you again next Friday on February 14th, Valentine's Day, for our Coffee Talk episode, or on February 21st for the second main episode of season 6. You can keep an eye out on our social media or head to our website, coffeeandcauldrons.com, to find out more information and see what we are up to. And don't forget to join us on Patreon February 22nd for the class with Selby of Witch Baby Soaps for her class on bath magic.
Yes, and additionally, our Patreon Magical Beginnings offers our special 25-minute part 2 episode, a huge library of articles about witchcraft, a Discord community full of fun events and discussions. Like, it's always going. It's always going. We're always talking. Like, so many things are going on. And we help, like, Robyn and I are there to help, like, teach you tarot, to help you help you with spells, like coming up with them. Like, we are here for you. And we even have tiers to offer one-on-one conversations with us. So, yeah, come join us.
Yeah. And if you are loving our sexy, sensual, and just chef's kiss voices, take a moment to review us on whatever streaming service that you are listening in from, such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We love reading your reviews, and rating us with 5 stars or rating us at all helps us to be seen by others. Thank you to everybody who already has and who will in the future. And as a little extra reminder, thank you, Patreon members. You make all of this possible. We really appreciate you.
Yes, and stay safe out there, BBs. And again, this is Coffee and Cauldrons.
With Robyn from At a Tired Witch Everywhere.
And I'm Maria from Magic with Maria Everywhere. I almost said my old username. Okay. All right, ready?
Are you ready?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.